Brook Lopez, over 1.5 threes. Like you guys said, he kills the Sixers.
Oh, do it.
Joel
Gotta
Embiid's not getting out on Brook Lopez. 2 threes for him.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre, what does he do? He likes to chuck. Chuck from the perimeter. 2 threes for Kelly Oubre. Chris Middleton, you mentioned him as a new role player, as a third option. They've moved his point prop down all the way to 12.5.
Yeah.
That doesn't make no damn sense, because what is Dame going to do? He's going to get him catch and shoot opportunities. This man shoots 40% from 3 from catch and shoot opportunities. 15 points for Chris Middleton. And maybe I'm wrong about Dame. Maybe it's Dame time, the flamethrower. Flame time. So Dame Lillard, 25 or more. 16-1.
He had 3. I only need 2 more. So
Come on,
hopefully
hit
counts.
that!
3.
Yeah!
Oh, we're going to hit that
Yes.
freaking parlay. Oh, yeah, baby. All we need
I
is
can't
Damian
believe
Lillard,
that.
25 points. Now everything else is hits.
Brook
It was-
Lopez has looked younger every year
I
the
know.
last 4 years,
It
and
was
I'm not talking about
plus
just his body.
145.
Let's
for
go.
That, for a 2 threes. I just don't
Good looking
understand
out,
where that
Nick.
number came from.
I
need one more though. We need, because I did also bet 3+ at plus 480.
Nice.
So we're rooting for one more from
You
Brook
gave
Lopez.
that out, and I was like, that's one hell of a number. I like that
I
number.
was shocked when I saw it. Really.
Kelly Oubre, 3 threes. My man, Brook Lopez, our man, Brook
Yeah.
Lopez, 2 threes. Dame Lillard just needs 4 more points.
They're a good team, no doubt about it. But that's a lot for them to withstand. And I know a lot of people are looking at that game saying, well, they're too good to lose 3 in a row. I mean, are they? I mean, who's playing and what are they doing? And you got Cincinnati coming off a bye, and something I look at fairly closely. Check out teams the week before a bye, especially if they're playing somebody who's not a huge rival. If it's a one-off type game, a lot of times those guys already have one eye towards getting on that plane after that game and going to Tahiti or wherever the hell they're going for the bye. So I think that's a tricky little spot for San Francisco. And then the Purdy thing on top of it. I think Brock Purdy, with everything around him, is super highly functional and a very winning quarterback. But as you start to chip away with those at those things a little bit, I think it can crumble pretty quickly. And it's are they a very good team? Sure, I'll concede that. Do I think they're a great team without all those parts? I don't. It was all over it at 6.5, a bunch of different ways. I've watched this series closely, and I know that Washington's been a tough matchup for them in the past. But I think these are two teams headed in different directions. And even if you go back and rewatch some of the last game, 4 field goals, that's not going to happen again. 4 for 12 on third down, I don't see that happening again. And the Eagles still had 415 yards in that game. They still scored 34 points, and a lot of things went against them. AJ went off for 9 catches, 175, and 2 touchdowns. Hurts threw for 320, you know what I mean, and ran another 9 times. I'm sorry, the way that Washington defense is right now, and the offensive line, and I know it probably looks pretty public, but you look at Washington's sack differential, I look at every key metric, and I just think, you know what I think? I think this series has been too close for too long, and it's time for an ass whipping, and I don't think the Eagles fear playing at Washington. And if you look at Washington at home, it's dog crap, they barely beat Arizona, and then 37-3 Buffalo, 40-20 Chicago. I think we're looking at one of those. You got guys in Washington basically whispering or saying out loud, "Get me the hell out of here" by the trade deadline. I think this is I think there's a puffy pants game, as my buddy Bob Henney would say on the radio here in Baltimore. I think the Eagles curb stomp.
Can we – all right, so I want to say I have been influenced, all right? I will acknowledge it. Dion and Shador and Shiloh have influenced me. I'm literally sitting here in my car with a pair of Blender's gold sunglasses because #influencer. But let's be real, the shine kind of came off the apple a little bit, right? It was fun to ride with Colorado when they were threatening their 3.5 over-under win total in the first 4 weeks of the season. It was fun when they were a big upset threat. But at the end of the day, they're a team in transition, right? The only difference between them and so many other teams in transition is that they've got Deion Sanders as their head coach. That's it. It's Hollywood excitement. And don't get me wrong, again, I'm all in for it. But the reality is Colorado's defense is not that good, and offensively, Shador and company were able to take some guys by surprise up front. But what's the great equalizer for a surprise offense is tape, right? It's tape and tendencies. It's being able to learn what the tendencies and the habits are, and now we have that on Colorado. And UCLA is not a bad little football team athletically to match up with what Colorado wants to do and can do on tape. So you're kind of at the point, and this is what I said preseason about Deion that I was always worried about. There comes a point where the celebrity can only carry you so far. The hype can only carry you so far. At some point, it comes down to, can you coach a football team? Can you do the X's and O's? Can you motivate young men outside of, hey, I'm a celebrity? Can you get them ready to go and play solid, consistent, disciplined football? And I'm not saying Deion cannot do that, but I think you're kind of watching the learning curve. Like you're watching the spot where the celebrity hype is dead, right? Celebrities aren't going to show up for a 500 team. They never have. Hello, Los Angeles Lakers. You don't win. Jack's not coming out to the CryptoBro.com arena or whatever it is now. If you're not good, the celebrities don't show up. They only show up for winners. So now that Colorado's eaten a couple, now that Colorado is kind of another football team that just happens to have a big-time celebrity coach, we're in the midst of that learning curve now, and now we're going to get to really see how good of a football team that they are, and that is not an easy lesson to learn for a group of guys that are rolling out on the field with $17,000 watches because they play for Deion, you feel me?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the Bills the rest of the season, though. You know what I mean? Like, they look good against teams like Tampa, although they're only up 3-0 in this game. They don't necessarily look great tonight. But then when they step up in class, I just never really know what to expect. I didn't notice this. Their last 21-score games, they're 8-12.
Wow.
So they, like, take care of the teams that they're supposed to, but in these, like, one-score games, they really struggle to close out games. Now, a lot of that is kind of skewed because it's against teams like Kansas City, and they didn't touch the ball last in that playoff game a couple of years ago. But it's kind of concerning, whereas, like, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, not even a playoff game, I don't want to be, like, hot take guy. I could see McDermott getting fired.
He knew he was going to get fired,
There
too.
you go, Josh.
It was a disaster. Josh Allen.
Kincaid!
There he is!
Yeah! There it is, baby.
Guys, we hit
Hit
it!
those bells.
Now they just got to win.
Yes.
Plus 260 comes home, though. And
Well, they don't have to win.
Yeah. There you
Remember
go.
that
well, I
There
played
you
the
go.
I played the plus 200 Kincaid and Bills.
Why? It was worse odds
Because I
than
wanted to bet the Bills just to win the game.
But
I-
you
You
don't
got
need
bad
to do
odds.
that.
Why
You
would
got
you do
worse
that?
odds.
Well, I bet the anytime touchdown,
Yeah.
right?
It's plus 260.
And then I bet Cook and I bet Kincaid both to score and the Bills to win, just because I wanted to bet a little bit more Bills, and I wanted to use them as a teaser, but I mean I couldn't get there because the number moved up from 10, so I wasn't going to tease them down to still a key number. You know, I wanted it to be 2.5.